Hi there, my name is Margie. I'm going to guide you through a few exercises to support you if you experience any knee pain or if you feel as though maybe as you're aging, your knees aren't quite behaving like they used to. So to start, leg extensions. I'm going to bring my hand to a chair. Even if you are balanced and you feel as though you don't need to use a chair, I encourage you to use it anyway, so that instead of focusing on balancing, you'll be focusing on the exercise and going deeper here. So feet hips distance, lift your right leg to start, hand to your hip, flex the lifted foot and kick forward. So it's not this passive, like just a little bit of an extension here, full extension so that your quads engage. Do that about 10 times. I'm not going to count here, but you can count for yourself about 10 of these. Full extension. Think about kicking. You can see how actively engaged my foot is. Once you've done 10 or so, your leg will be burning likely. Step it down. We'll do it on the other side. I'm just going to grab the wall here so I don't have to move the chair. Lift your knee until it's about in line with your hip. Foot is flexed. Kick it forward. Again, really go for engagement and strengthening. Move slowly with intention, nice and strong. Hopefully you're counting, but if not, do it until you feel that burn and you feel as though you're pretty even, and step the foot down. Next, we'll do a couple variations of chair, 2 options. I actually encourage you, if you are, maybe you haven't been strength training for a while and you're just getting back into exercises to rebuild strength, I encourage you to use a chair, because what I see with clients often is that they go deep into the chair and they almost get stuck. So if you think it'll be helpful, have at least a chair close by to pull yourself up if you need to. Always good to have. So we'll have the feet hips distance apart. Bend your knees. Weight goes into your heels. So when you look down at your toes, you want to be able to see them past your knees. If you can't see your toes, pull your knees back a little bit. See how my toes are light? Maybe even lift your toes. Now lean back a little bit, puff up your chest, lift the crown of your head, go a little bit deeper if you can. We'll hold that for about 30 seconds or so, keeping the weight in your heels. If you have lifted the toes, it's okay if you no longer see the toes, but before you lift, you at least want to be able to see the tips of your toes. And then you can come out. If you want a little extra, it'll be more intense for your muscles, easier just in that you have the support of the wall, but you'll be going deeper here. So you might remember these from the days if you were an athlete playing sports, wall sit up against the wall, feet not too far away. You want to be supported here and safe. Sit down. Again, you don't have to go too low. Hands can gently rest on your knees, on your thighs. Now press into your heels. If the weight is in the toes, pretty different experience. Press your heels down. You'll notice that difference. Now for an extra layer, a little different challenge here. As of right now, I can kind of slide my fingertips behind my back between the wall. I'm going to engage my core, press my back into the wall so I can no longer bring my fingers back there. A little more challenging, more strength building. And gently lift yourself up. All right. Heel lifts. Hands, well, you can bring your hands to your hips. If balance is something that you're working on, I encourage you to bring your hand to a chair or the wall so that instead of focusing on this being a balancing exercise, you're focused on building strength. You lift your heels, keep the heels lifted as you go up and down. Now what I see often with my clients is their toes turn, or their weight goes into like the pinky toes. You can see that my knees are turning out as well, and they're like this. Of course, this might just be a challenge and it's something you need to work on, but do your best in having the weight evenly distributed in the top of your foot. So in the ball mounds of the feet and the pinky ball mounds. Go up and down a few times. More in the heels. I started going in and out of the knees, so we want it to look more like this. This is good. Weight is evenly distributed. Good. Okay. Now moving on, warrior 2. Nice wide stance, a traditional yoga posture here. Deep bend in your front knee. Open your arms up. Now you'll keep the front knee deeply bent the whole time, and you'll just go a little bit deeper. So keeping it bent, but going in and out of depth. Now for a little more intensity, press into the heel, ground down firmly, more strengthening in your knee. Once you've done that for about 30 seconds, pivot. Again, front knee is deeply bent, back leg is nice and straight. Pulse in and out. Now, often when we experience knee pain, it's not necessarily because of an acute injury. If you maybe feel like you woke up one day and you're like, why do my knees hurt all of a sudden? It could be because the muscles around the knee are no longer as strong. So that's why we're doing some exercises that don't just focus on the knee directly, like those calf raises. Those are going to strengthen muscles in your feet, ankles, and calf that will support you building strength and keeping your knees safe and feeling stronger. All right, lastly, actually, I want to build off of that Warrior Two posture. What I love to do with clients is come super close up against the wall. So whichever knee is bent, that foot is going to come close. You can grab a pillow, press knee into the pillow. Now focus on that outer external rotation of the knee, pressing in firmly. Keep pressing the heel down if you can, but more than anything, you're pressing on that, or you're focusing on that external rotation. This can be challenging, especially since this does require some flexibility and mobility in your hips. Sometimes when I do this with clients in the beginning, whatever they're holding on to, it just slips down. That's okay, because we're just practicing, we're building capability, regaining strength. That for a few seconds on the other side, again, that the foot of the bent knee gets pretty close to the wall. Focus on pressing. So my knee can, of course, not press the pillow so much it stays here, but I still want you to focus on pressing your knee into the pillow. Once you've done that for a few seconds, you can remove the pillow. Last one, quad stretch. I encourage you to hold on to something, again, so that you're not focusing on balancing here, you're just focusing on stretching. Now you can see here that there's a little bit of a bend here. Do your best to drive your knee toward the floor and press your hip flexors forward. So you can see that difference from here to here. Much bigger stretch, much better for the knee. Let's switch that out. Again, once you've taken hold of the foot, and if you can't reach your foot comfortably, you can always grab a strap if you have a yoga strap, and if not, you can use a belt. But regardless, knee goes down, hips go forward, stand up nice and tall. Gently release. And that's it. Those are your 5 exercises. I encourage you to do these on a daily basis. Again, it doesn't take that much time. You can even go through it faster, of course, than I guided you here because I was chatting through everything. But these 5 exercises, when done regularly, or maybe even every other day, realistically takes you maybe 3 minutes. If you're experiencing any knee pain, if you've noticed that it's become more challenging for you to go up and down stairs, getting in and out of a chair, or if you are still active, you still play sports, golf, tennis, and you're starting to feel that knee pain creep in, I really encourage you to try out some of these practices, especially if you're thinking, oh my gosh, do I need surgery? Please try this first. I imagine that you wouldn't just jump right into surgery, but really often by strengthening our joints or whatever it is that the problem area is, we are able to not have to go under the knife. So that's always good. Obviously, this is a newer channel, so please let me know if there's anything that you're curious about, anything that you'd like to work on, any challenges you've been facing. I've been teaching for almost 8 years, been doing yoga for 20 years. It has changed my life, and so I'm just here to support you and share what I know, share what really helps my clients that are 55 plus. Let me know how I can help you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you soon.